I'm happy to quote unquote be here. I'm so sorry that I couldn't get there. Long story short, it was a nightmare at the airport. We didn't beat the weather, so that's why I'm here and not in the room with you guys. But hopefully, I can still give you a good perspective on what we're doing with this program at RC Andersen. So again, before I get into the presentation, just give you guys a little bit of information about myself. My name is Brian Dover. I am the digital design manager for RC Andersen. I've been on board with the company since 2023. A little bit about my personal work background. I come from the MEP world. I started my career working in a lot of MEP engineering firms in New York City. I started out as a draftsman, went to school, got a couple of degrees, moved into MEP, doing design for commercial spaces, mission critical, healthcare, education, all of those things, and finally ended up at RC Andersen. On a personal note, I'm the father of a pro, or what she likes to think is pro softball player. She's 12 years old, but she's pretty she's pretty good at what she does. She's a catcher, she's a pitcher. She plays every position on the field really well. So a lot of my time is spent doing that. And when I'm not with her or at work, I like to play a little bit of golf myself too. So that's who I am. That's what I do. Um, the company that I work for, as I mentioned, is RC Andersen. We were established in 2006 as a national construction management firm. Our headquarters are in Fairfield, New Jersey. Between our office and a field team, we're about 70 plus industrial experts. And back in 2021, we joined the STO Building Group. That's a large umbrella that's comprised of 14 builders and currently ranked number 6 on the ENR top 400 contractors. So a pretty well known company. A little bit more on those builders. You can see the names there: Ajax, Structure Tone, Abbott, of course, RC Andersen, Paravini McGovern, Leighton Construction out west, and even in you guys' neck of the woods, we have Govern Brown. They have an office in Vancouver, also Calgary, Ottawa, Edmonton, and a little closer to where I'm from. Their headquarters is in Toronto. So basically anywhere you go in the world, we can be considered a local brand because we have an arm that works in your neighborhood. It's an international network of subcontractors. Altogether, we have about 5,100 employees, $5 billion bonding capacity, about $12 billion annual revenue. So that's the group that RC Andersen is a part of. And so far, things have been going pretty well. So as I mentioned, we're talking about the basics. There's a lot of things that all of us in the construction industry, there's things that we have to do on a regular basis. And one of those things is winning work. And all of those things, how successful we are in that area comes down to our pursuit strategy. So at RC Andersen, we try to be forward thinking and show value in our approach to doing it. And how do we do that and why do we do it is something that we're going to talk about. So one of the things that we do, as you all know, we have to tell stories that are based on data. When we're sending out a proposal or we're responding to a proposal, there's a lot of information, as everyone knows, that goes into that. Schedules, so many documents, just a lot of information that goes along with the project. And BIM and VDC, all of that data, what we try to do is encapsulate it in a package that's going to be impactful. Because we know the people who are sending out the requests for these proposals, they're looking at a lot of information from a lot of different contractors. They're seeing numbers, just a lot of different facts, why each contractor is the best one for the job. So we try to stand out in what we do. And what we do at RC Andersen, BIM and VDC, along with the marketing department, we partner up so that the presentations that we send out can be immersive. They can engage the person or the potential client that's looking at it. And again, one of the most important things that we try to do is take those complex construction schedules and turn them into marketing assets, because that's what's going to drive the client's confidence in RC Andersen as their builder. I know myself, when I get any type of correspondence from anybody, when it's a lot of data, that's not my favorite thing to do. There's just pouring over endless sheets of data. But if you're looking at something that's visual, that tells the same story, sometimes it's easier to get the point of the information and cover the material that you're trying to absorb. What I like to call it when it comes to sending out proposals, they're the three V's. It's volume, value, and visual. If you're looking at your proposal and it's missing any one of those three things, one of your elements is missing from your proposal. And that can adversely affect your win rates when it comes to your jobs. Now, another thing that we have to do is change with the industry. As time goes on, your pursuit strategy cannot stay the same. Reason why is the industry changes, your clients changes, market conditions change. So you want to keep pace with that and keep your pursuit strategy running right along with that, so that your win rate and the revenue that you're bringing into your company can continue to progress. So what we at RC Andersen, we try to do is align our marketing department along with BIM and VDC, have the same strategy that's telling the same stories, and tailor them to meet our clients' needs. We try to get involved on projects as early as possible. As soon as our marketing teams or our executive teams get wind of an opportunity, BIM and VDC are automatically involved right from the beginning. And we do this so that our campaigns and our project pursuits can be what we like to refer to as hyper-targeted and personalized. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you an example. We had a client last year, a confidential client. It was a streaming service, and they were building a new studio in New Jersey. So what we did with our proposal was we designed the proposal to mimic the interface that you see when you open their app. So whatever you see on your phone or your computer when you open their app, that's how we designed our proposal. And all of the movies and shows, quote unquote, that they could choose from covered different areas of the construction process, from mobilization to earthworks to even relocating an entire pre-existing structure. So cmBuilder is what made it possible for us to take all of the information that was contained in the proposal and put it in an appetizing format for our client to take in. And because of that, we were able to win the project. And also, when we do things like that, the clients or the stakeholders that we're presenting to, they see that we thoroughly understand the project. Because when it comes to anything, not just with construction, even in life, if you understand a subject and you can recreate the story, or you can dumb the story down so that everyone can understand it, that means you have a mastery of the project. And if our clients think we have a mastery of the project, they're more likely to give us the win. And that's our favorite kind of client. Our favorite kind of client is one who's comfortable with us, confident with us, and one who can sleep at night. Those are the clients that we want. And cmBuilder enables us to make just about every client that we have into that kind of client. And then there's trends that we want to consider. When you're talking about winning projects, it's not necessarily just what's going on with your company. You want to see what's going on across the market. When we look at the AEC industry, it moves faster than you can blink. If you take your eye off the ball, you can get left behind. So when it comes to technology, partnering that with business development, keeping them hand in hand, we try to stay ahead of the curve. So we're looking at different trends, we're seeing what's developing, and trying to be on top of the next thing. So when we do that and we incorporate that into our project pursuits, it works out successfully for us. We've even done market research where we looked at some of the industry-leading firms who are in the top 100 on the ENR, and they're using visual schedule communication. So it only makes sense to follow that trend. Those guys are that successful because of how they're doing it, so we're following suit. And then lastly, when you look at The business itself, the construction visualization software industry, all we have to do is ask these guys at cmBuilder, ask Javier, ask these guys, how's business? I'm sure things are going quite well for them. So that's another indication that this is the way to go. And then we look at about why it matters. There's a couple of factors that we like to consider when we're putting proposals together. Are we improving our client understanding? As I mentioned before, we know what construction schedules are. We know what they look like. We know how complicated they can be. When we can show what's on the schedule in a visual format, it makes phasing, dependencies, critical paths, and all of those other things that go into it pretty crystal clear, even for an audience that may be non-technical. When a team is looking at a proposal that we've sent out, there's no guarantee that everyone in that room is a construction professional and understands everything we're talking about. But if we can show them visually, we can almost guarantee that everyone who's looking at it in some way, shape, or form is going to understand the points that we're trying to convey. And that in turn develops confidence from the owners in RC Andersen as the right choice for managing their construction project. And then also big differentiation. When a person puts out an RFP, they could be looking at 10 to 15 different responses from all different types of contractors. And after a while, proposals, they start to look the same. They have a schedule. They have a project approach. You meet the team, all of these different things. You want something that's going to make yours look different from the stack of proposals that these guys are having in their inbox. cmBuilder definitely does that for you. It makes you stand out. And some of the case studies that we're going to consider are going to show how that's actually true. And then also the basics, subcontractor coordination. We all know that that's something important that we have to take into account. We have to understand how we're going to coordinate with our subcontractors, and our client has to understand that we understand it. That's what's going to give them that confidence. Of course, risk mitigation, visually identifying conflicts, constraints, and critical paths. And then lastly, something that we may not always consider is community versus construction. Every time we do a project, we're building a project in somebody's backyard, in somebody's neighborhood. And every project that we get, or every project that we're on, may not always be 100% supported by everybody in the community. But the things that we're able to do with cmBuilder, it enables us to create accessible information, not only for the construction teams, not only for the stakeholders, but even when there's community outreach. One of the projects that we were working on, some of the renderings that we did based on our work in cmBuilder, now they're hanging up in the city hall. So anyone who lives in the town, who goes to the city hall and is asking about this new construction project that's happening in the neighborhood, they can clearly see images and they can see the construction process as it's going to move, and they can see what impact it's going to have on their neighborhood. So all of these things that I'm talking about, they've been made possible by cmBuilder. We couldn't be more happy with this project with anything else that we could have possibly chosen. So what I'm going to do now, we're just going to look at a couple of case studies, a couple of projects that we were able to win, and these projects are currently under construction, and we're going to see how we use cmBuilder to actually win the job. So case study number one. It's a multi-structure data center campus. Some of the project challenges were definitely the size. It's 185 acres. It consists of 3 auxiliary buildings and 10 single and 2-story data centers. The client that we have, they wanted an aggressive schedule for this project. And by that, we talking about part of the site is being built while clients or tenants are moving into other parts of the site. So it's 10 buildings. When someone is someone's moving into buildings 1, 2, and 3, buildings 3 through 10 are currently under construction. So we're talking about moving fences, construction trailers, equipment, staging areas, all kind of things ongoing. And there were multiple stakeholders who needed to know different things. Everyone who's looking at the proposal didn't need to know how the steel was going up, but they may have needed to know what the earthwork was going to look like. So our proposal had to address all of those concerns and be catered to everyone. But cmBuilder came to the rescue and we were able to use it super successfully. We won a $600 million fee against our other competitors who are more experienced than RC Andersen in building data centers. By trade, historically, RC Andersen, we build warehouses. It's a similar type of structure to a data center, except that the insides are very different. But because of using cmBuilder and showing that we had a thorough understanding of the project, we were able to win it. And the client even mentioned to us that the way that we visualized the schedule, that was a key decision factor in awarding us the job, particularly when it came to showing utilities. As many of you may know, data center utilities are different than a lot of other projects because of the power requirements and because of the data requirements. So there's a lot of medium voltage duct banks, and there's also a lot of fiber optics that go into it. We were able to show all of that successfully with cmBuilder, had a lot of support calls with the guys on the team over there to get it done, but we were able to do it. And as a result, we did so well with this one that we received referrals to additional data center projects. And it's helped expand our footprint, particularly in the southern region of the country, in doing data centers. So just giving you some imagery about what was going on. This is the site that we had to build on. As you can see, it's when we started, it's an industrial area. There are existing freight train lines that run through it. There's existing wetlands, so the DEP had to get involved. This was a multi-agency project. And as you can see here, this was the turnover schedule. Pretty aggressive for building buildings of this size and also having clients or tenants moving in during the phased construction. But because we were able to show that we understood that, that's another key reason why we were able to win the project. And as you can see, just moving on, we were able to show all of this work was done with cmBuilder, showing the site when it was going to be mobilized, and then showing the construction as it was going on. As you can see, this was one of the utility drawings that we had to work with. Not super complicated, but just a lot of piping and conduits and duct banks running between buildings. And we had to show exactly what was going on here and that we understood how it was going to be done and how we were going to do it. And as you can see with cmBuilder, it shows it exactly the way we wanted to show it. And then we had to get a little bit more detailed, not just a high level view, but they wanted to see close-ups, exactly what was going into these trenches. cmBuilder came to the rescue again. We were able to show everything that we needed to show. The vaults, the duct banks, the piping that was going under, all of those kind of things. And all of this was being done, as we mentioned, while clients were moving into other buildings. So as you can see, we did the time-lapse photography with the timeline on the bottom, moving through the quarters. And this is an ongoing project that's under construction currently. And then this is a little video that we made for the client during the meeting. You can just take a look at this. We got some little corny corporate music running along with it to make it feel authentic. But we showed exactly what was going to happen in the project.
Right, did we lose you? I can't hear you. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, good. So you can see that that was a brief little video that we showed at the meeting, but it actually translated into a W for the company. And as I mentioned, this is a $600 million project, so we can directly credit cmBuilder for enabling us to do that. So that was a win for us. Now, cmBuilder, as we mentioned before, it's a versatile tool. So what we've come to see is that it doesn't always have to be a huge, gigantic project for cmBuilder to work. That brings us to our next case study. Slightly smaller project, one building with a parking garage attached to it, a distribution facility with a multi-level parking garage, 972,000 square foot logistics center, 116,000 square foot parking garage. This was a project where they were pursuing LEED Silver certification. They specifically asked for 4D schedule and logistics planning. There were a couple of parts of the construction that they wanted options, how they were going to do the exterior walls. And also, again, this was a NJ, or New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection regulated site. So again, what we're going to use? We're going to use cmBuilder. And what were the results? Again, this was a project win. $80 million fee against other competitors. We worked on this pursuit for quite a while. It started back in the second quarter of 2022. And again, after all was said and done, the client told us that the schedule visualization and the time lapse that we did, that was one of the key factors in making a decision, the quality of the proposal and the way we delivered it to them. So you can see that this site is slightly different. Right there in the middle where you see all of those tanks, this site was previously an oil refinery. So there were a lot of agencies that were involved in us bringing this to life. Before we can begin construction, a lot of things had to go into improving the ground, a lot of environmental cleanup. But again, cmBuilder enabled us to show all of those things in our proposal. This was a waterfront project. It's a redevelopment. And uniquely about this project, this was two cities. Because of where the project is located, the city of Perth Amboy, as well as the city of Woodbridge, were both involved in this project. And we were able to meet everyone's needs and show everyone what they needed to know at the proposal stage. So using cmBuilder, we were able to show the ground improvements, exactly what was going to happen from start to finish, so that they could anticipate anything that was going to come up during this phase of the project. From the foundations to the earthwork to the ground improvements, where we were going to store materials, what the access roads were going to be in and out of the site, because this was next to an active highway. So all of those things were taken care of during this stage of the project. The options that I was talking about was how they were going to build the exterior walls. Were we going to use precast panels that were delivered to the site? Were we going to use cast in place tilt wall panels? We were able to show all of this in one concise package, and they were able to make a decision at this stage of the project. Again, we went all the way through from project mobilization, all the way through to completion. All of this work was done with the help of cmBuilder. And then again, they wanted a little video. Here we go. So again, simple but effective. And this is just a little picture. A couple of weeks ago, we attended the groundbreaking ceremony for this project, and it is underway and moving along very nicely. So cmBuilder, it may seem very simple with what we do, but the impact that this has on project pursuits is unbelievable. And I think that I am running a little short on time, so I'm not going to get into the next case study. But even a smaller project we were able to use cmBuilder for was for an airport. We worked on a project at the BWI airport in Maryland. Again, simple video and logistics plans that we did, but all of this, we used it to be able to win the project. As you can see, we were able to show some of the specific circumstances that apply when you're doing work at an airport. There's a few different regulations that we weren't used to that you have to keep in mind when you're doing construction, but we were able to clearly show all of those things so that our stakeholders, as well as our contractors and everybody who's on the job, knows what they had to do. So basically, that's what we were able to accomplish with this program. So bringing it all back to the basics of what we've been able to do with cmBuilder, it's a smart way to handle the basics. What the basics are, what we have to do, we have to send out proposals, responses to requests for proposals. And cmBuilder helps us to bring clarity and engagement because we can make the schedules visual. When the client specifically asks for that, it's a no-brainer because we're easily able to do it with cmBuilder. And then it bridges the gap between technical teams and non-technical teams. We know it's a saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. That statement could not be truer when it comes to conveying all of the information that's on a schedule. And your proposal that you send to your client, it's a first impression, especially if they haven't done business with you. And these type of images, when they open a proposal and they see this, it makes an impression. And the history that we have with it so far, our experience with it, is that those first impressions are lasting because we get repeat work when our proposals contain this type of material that we've generated using cmBuilder. Also, it's a perfect tool. The best tool that you have in your toolbox is the one that you need right now. Every project that we have, we've been able to use cmBuilder on it. It's versatile and it's also scalable. From super mega projects like the data centers that we're working on, down to a 30,000-foot airplane hangar at an airport. We've been able to apply it successfully. We show that we understand the timeline and all of the logistics that go into it, and we are able to successfully convey that to our client. And it's very transparent. They see that we understand it, and they feel confident moving forward. And one of the most important things that we've experienced with cmBuilder is that it's directly translating into tangible sales wins. Sometimes when you get a new software, sometimes it's hard to quantify if it's actually benefiting your company. The numbers speak for themselves. You use cmBuilder, you get a win. It streamlines the client approvals and it improves our communication. And as I mentioned, it's a measurable return on the investment. And I'm happy to say that we're just getting started with cmBuilder. We're exploring the advanced features. These guys are coming out with new features to make it better constantly. We attend all of the webinars, we talk to these guys, we engage with them to see how we can use this tool even more powerfully. And we cannot be happier with the experience that we've had with them. These guys make me look good on my job every single day. The people on my job, they think I'm a genius, and it's not me, it's cmBuilder. So thank you guys for everything that you've done with us. And this is a project that we're working on right now. I'm working with one of the other arms of our company. They're building a hotel in South Miami, I believe. You can tell by the colors on the buildings. This is definitely not the Northeast of the United States. This is Miami. But this is my closing. And I just want to thank you guys for listening. I know you've heard a lot of information over the past days. Thank you for having me at the end. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much.